What is going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another live episode right here on KIEQ on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. And as you can see behind me, this is the only picture myself, all of Chicago, all Bears fans need is this picture of our brand new franchise freaking quarterback, Justin Fields, holding up his number one jersey. It's a beautiful view. Beautiful view. Super excited to have everyone back. Like I said, I appreciate you guys so much. Today, I'm going to go through our draft, all the draft picks, give you guys my reactions on them, my grades, and just my thoughts on all the picks, and I'm going to give you guys an overall grade. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to keep this picture right here of Justin Fields up the whole time. I'm stoked to have Justin Fields on the Chicago Bears. I'm excited for the future of this franchise. How's everyone doing? Is everyone doing okay? I know it's a Monday. I appreciate you guys being here on a Monday. Super pumped to go over all these draft picks with you guys. How's everyone doing? Can you guys hear me okay? If everyone can hear me okay, just let me know in the chat. That'll be much appreciated so we can get this live stream going. I'm pretty sure everyone's pumped just like me on this beautiful Monday. I am so excited. I contemplating buying a Justin Fields jersey, but the only problem is that I really want a stitched Justin Fields jersey. I like the print on sometimes, but sometimes just having a nice stitched jersey is just better, you know. And this guy's gonna be our franchise quarterback for years to come. This one feels different. Something about Justin Fields feels different. Something that we can actually be excited about, and it's a different feeling because the Chicago Bears never, outside of Sid Luckman, and I never watched Sid Luckman play because we weren't alive. But outside of Sid Luckman, the Chicago Bears never had a franchise quarterback. So I'm over the top still about Justin Fields. So it's crazy, guys. It really truly is something else. Just rewatching highlights of Justin Fields, rewatching him getting drafted by the Chicago Bears it's a surreal feeling. Everyone should be excited about Justin Fields. Let me tell you that. Everyone. If you're not excited about Justin Fields, I'm not sure if you're a normal Bears fan. I'm sorry to say that, but every single Bears fan should be excited about Justin freaking Fields. Like I said, thank you guys so much for joining the live. I really appreciate all you guys' support of the podcast. I'm honestly thinking about starting to go live maybe once a week, maybe every Friday, go live, and just have nice conversations with you guys. You guys can ask me questions. It should be fun. You know, I think going live is a good way to connect with you guys, connect with the listeners and the followers. So yeah. Before we actually get into the analysis of all these draft picks, Charles Leno, if you guys didn't see, did get cut. And the reason why I did not do a video, because I knew I was going to be on here doing a live for you guys. But Charles Leno did get cut after 7 seasons. 93 starts. You know, love him or hate him, even though he wasn't really a consistent player. He started 93 straight games. He was a 7th-round pick, and just that alone, he was actually one of my favorite Bears. That alone, you don't see a lot of 7th-round picks make it that long in the NFL. So we thank you, Charles Leno. Like I said, love him or hate him, he was a great guy and a great Chicago Bear, especially off the field. So obviously with Tevin Jenkins, that was probably the plan all along, is to draft a new left tackle and a right tackle. and try to get younger, nastier in there. So I understand why the Chicago Bears did it, but, it is a business. But thank you, Charles Leno, for all you did for the Chicago Bears. With the release of Charles Leno, it actually saved the Chicago Bears $9 million in cap space. So I'm not sure if they're going to use that cap space to pay all their rookies. I would hope they would start using some cap space, saving up some cap space to extend Allen Robinson, because that's what all Bears fans want. I think if they extend Allen Robinson soon, that would make the offseason an AA+ for the Chicago Bears, in my personal opinion. So here we go. Is everyone ready to go? Like I said, I'm super excited to be back here. Hope everyone's pumped about the draft. Like I said, thank you so much for joining the live. I really, really appreciate it. And here we go. I'm going to go over all the picks and give you guys my reaction and grades on all these picks, and maybe give you guys an overall grade of the Chicago Bears 2021 and NFL draft. So obviously you guys probably seen my live reaction. If you guys watched the live from the NFL draft on Thursday night, you guys saw my raw live reaction, and you guys probably even saw my dad barge into the room and start screaming like a maniac. But I'm pretty sure all Bears fans around the world were doing the same thing that my dad and I were doing. So it was just an exciting moment to see. So here we go. So with the first pick, the Chicago Bears traded up from 20 to 11, giving up their first this year, a first next year, a fifth this year, and a fourth-round pick next year to select Justin Fields. This guy right behind me, Justin freaking Fields, out of Ohio State University. A lot of people had some questions about, the Bears gave up a lot. But when you're looking for a franchise quarterback, you have to do anything in your power to get this guy. The Bears, for multiple years under Ryan Pace, have missed on guys exactly like Justin Fields. And for once, Ryan Pace and the Chicago Bears organization got it right. They traded up, got their guy. They had to be bold. Obviously, all offseason long, they tried to get Russell Wilson. It failed. They had to be bold here, people. And they got their guy. I give this pick an A+. I feel like Justin Fields can play right now. I think he should sit for a little bit. I'm iffy about Andy Dalton, but I do feel like Justin Fields can come in right now and challenge Andy Dalton to be the week 1 starter for the Chicago Bears. So I give this pick an A+. Let me know in the comment section what grade you guys give this first round pick of Justin Fields. And like I said, everyone should be super excited about this pick. It's Justin Fields. Come on now. I had some concerns that the Chicago Bears were actually going to pick Mac Jones when they traded up to get a quarterback. Because everyone knew that when they traded up from 20 to 11 and Justin Fields and Mac Jones were on the board, it was between them two. So I had a little bit of concerns. Knowing Ryan Pace's history on the quarterback position, I thought they were going to take Mac Jones. But I'm glad that Ryan Pace finally got the quarterback position right. And honestly, love or hate Ryan Pace, he nailed this year's draft. He was under pressure, and he handled that pressure really, really well. And he got this draft right. Maybe we should start putting him under pressure more often so he doesn't screw it up anymore. So I give Ryan Pace mad props. Mad props for this year's draft. We went up, got our guy, bold move, but I loved every second of it, of this draft. So, in round 2, the Bears traded up again. Gave up a third and a sixth in this year's draft to go up and grab my guy, Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State. Once again, guys, this guy was out of all the players, was my favorite player in this year's draft. And we got him in the second round. On the PFF big board, he was ranked 31, and we got him at 39th overall. He's a nasty mauler. He can play right tackle and left tackle. I loved this pick. It was a smart move. It was a bold move to trade up and get this guy, but it was a need. We needed to make the offensive line tougher, and that's what Tevin Jenkins does. He makes the offensive line tough, nasty. No offense to Charles Leno. Charles Leno didn't really have that nastiness to him. By getting Tevin Jenkins, especially when you have a first-round talent like Tevin Jenkins and you get him in the second round, I think it was necessary for us to trade up and get some protection for Justin Fields for years to come. I give the Tevin Jenkins pick an A+. He was a first-rounder in most of my mock drafts. So to be able to get him in the second round, I love the move of Tevin Jenkins. Like I said, he's nasty. He'll put people's face in the dirt, and sometimes you need that aggression. So I give the pick of Tevin Jenkins an A+. Let me know what you give the Tevin Jenkins pick. Let me know in the comment section. See, and to be quite honest with you, him going one-on-one with Khalil Mack is just going to make him better. Because there's going to be probably some times where Khalil Mack's going to throw him down on the ground. You see what he did to Tristan Wirfs from the Buccaneers. And I'm pretty sure that Tevin Jenkins has never been thrown around. So Khalil Mack may humble him real quick in practice. But that is going to be... I wish I was a fly on the wall to see those battles between Tevin Jenkins and Khalil Mack. Do I think the Bears can make any more moves at wide receiver? You know, to be quite honest, I feel like we may be set at wide receiver, and I'm not sure if we're going to trade Anthony Miller or not. Obviously, we drafted Daz Newsome out of North Carolina, and I'll talk about him in a little bit. But the receiver room is looking pretty good, even with Riley Ridley. Even though it was for a short amount of time, Justin Fields and Riley Ridley were actually teammates at Georgia for a little bit. So that was actually an interesting note that I had to put in my brain, that maybe Riley Ridley will finally get his chance to show us what he got. So, like I said, I'm not sure what they're going to do with Anthony Miller, but if we keep Anthony Miller, the more the merrier. I think our receiver room is going to be pretty nice this year. Pretty nice. So let me know what you give the grade for the Tevin Jenkins pick. I give it an A+, guys. Love the guy. He's a mauler, nasty. He's 6'5", 310 pounds, so he's a big, strong guy. And just like I think it was Mel Kiper said, don't let these glasses that he wears fool you. He is a tough son of a gun. I'm excited that we were able to get him. Like I said, he was a first-round pick in my last mock draft. So we were able to give him the second. I was ecstatic. I was out of town this weekend, and when I saw that pick, I was excited for the Bears getting Tevin Jenkins. So like everyone knows at this point, with the Bears trading away a lot of their picks, you know, especially going up to get Tevin Jenkins, I'm at pick 39 in the second round. The Bears did not have a third round pick anymore, and obviously they did not have a fourth round pick. So the Bears' next pick was not even until the final day, where they had 1 5th, 3 6th, and a 7th. So they did what they had to do to get the best players available. And I'll be straight up honest with you guys. After they got Justin Fields and Tevin Jenkins, I was set. I was like, all right, you got the quarterback, you got your offensive tackle, you paired them together for years to come. And it was just beautiful what Ryan Pace was able to do in this year's draft. So in round 5, pick 151, the Bears selected Larry Baroon, guard out of Missouri. He's 6'5", 350 pounds. Once again, the Bears went in here trying to change the identity to the offensive line, an offensive line that needed more aggressiveness, needed more nastiness, needed that edge to them. You know, for years, the Chicago Bears have been known for their defense, having the monsters of the Midway on the defense, but it's never been like that on the offense. So finally, the Bears addressed the offensive line, just like all us Bears fans were screaming about, like, please, Ryan Pace, address the offensive line. That's what he did in this year's draft, and to me, he did it early and often. This guy right here, Larry Baroon, 6'5", 350 pounds out of Missouri. He can play, I believe, right tackle, guard, and left tackle, so he can play everywhere. He is, once again, a nasty guy that has an edge to him, just like Tevin Jenkins. I love this pick. I would give this pick a B. I think he's going to be one of those guys that we may have to develop a little bit, but don't be surprised maybe if he comes in and competes for the starting right tackle job. Obviously, we got Elijah Wilkinson from the Broncos, so there's going to be a lot of good competition on this offensive line this year, and I'm truly excited to see how this thing plays out. I'm really happy that Ryan Pace addressed the offensive line. You trade up and got your quarterback of the future, but he knew it would have been a safe pick in that second round, and even in the fifth round, they'll go get some playmakers. But how in the hell are we going to get these playmakers the ball if we don't have an offensive line? So he addressed the offensive line early and often, and I'm super, super glad that he did that. So what do you guys give this grade? How would you grade this pick of Larry Baroon out of Missouri, guard, 6'5", 350 pounds? I give this pick a B. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys give? What grade do you guys give this pick? Thank you so much for joining the live, everybody. I really, really appreciate all you guys being here. Going through all the draft picks and giving you guys my analysis and grades on all these picks. Yeah, I have to agree with you. I am loving how much speed we have on this offense now. And it's crazy to think that Justin Fields runs a 4.4, so he's just as much as a threat as our other guys on the offense. So you never know what Justin Fields is going to do. He can run, he can throw. He is the full package, guys. He's a freaking franchise quarterback. He's what a franchise quarterback looks like. Just look at him. Look at this guy behind me. Look at in his face. When he got drafted, if you guys saw the video of him like saying, "Hey, what's up, Bears fans? Super excited to be part of the organization. Bear down." He said it in an angry way. That means Justin Fields has a chip on his freaking shoulder, and I am pumped to see what this guy does and how he changes the franchise. Here's what we have to understand. All it's going to take for Justin Fields to be a freaking legend in Chicago is to win us one freaking Super Bowl. It's going to take him winning one Super Bowl. If he wins one Super Bowl, he may be bigger than Michael freaking Jordan. Chicago loves their football. Have some of the most passionate fans in the NFL. If he comes and wins one freaking Super Bowl, that changes the dynamic of the Chicago Bears organization. Yeah, Bulls 190. Justin Fields checks out all the boxes of an elite QB. And this is the reason why I say that Justin Fields can come in and compete to play week one. He has a lot of big-time game experience. He's not going to be nervous to be playing week one. Trey Lance needs to be developed. Mac Jones may need to be developed a little bit. Justin Fields is ready to play right now. And I think this draft has woke Bears fans up. We were kind of going in a depressed stage, after we missed out on Russell Wilson. For years, we missed out on Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson. We've been missing on quarterbacks for years, even as far as missing on Dak Prescott a couple drafts ago. The Chicago Bears picking Justin Fields has woke us up, and I am super pumped. I don't even have words or feelings half the time about this. I'm just excited about Justin Fields. All right, here we go. Like I said, we had 3 sixth-round picks. So at pick 217 in the 6th round, and we actually traded back, and that's why we were able to get a 7th-round pick. So we ended up with 3 sixths and a 7th. So with the first 6th-round pick, we drafted Khalil Herbert, running back out of Virginia Tech. He's 5'8", 204 pounds. This pick was interesting. Ryan Pace loves drafting these running backs. I think he's going to be more of a special teams guy. Maybe he'll split carries with David Montgomery. I know it's kind of a competitive backfield now with Tariq Cohen, Damian Williams, David Montgomery, and now this guy. But I feel like he may compete day one as a special teams return man. He has nice speed, nice explosiveness. I like the pick. I will give this pick a B as well. I think in the 6th round is a great value for a running back, especially when you could never have enough good special teamers right here. So I like the pick in terms of maybe bringing him in as a special teamer, maybe having him split some carries with David Montgomery and those other guys in the backfield. And also, he can be a big special teamer for the Chicago Bears and maybe return some punts or kickoff. So I give this pick a B grade. I actually really like this pick in the 6th round. How do you guys feel about Khalil Herbert out of Virginia Tech? Yeah, I agree. The guy from Virginia Tech is very, very good. Hits the holes fast. He's explosive. And I was just really impressed while watching the highlights, his special teams highlights. He's really has really, really good vision. So I like the pick. I give it a B. Ryan Pace loves drafting running backs. He always finds hidden gems at the running back position late in the draft. And I feel like he drafts a running back every single draft. So it's kind of interesting that he picked a running back. And like I said, it wasn't like the sexy pick for a lot of Bears fans in the 6th round, especially with like a corner and a receiver that we still needed. But I think it was the right pick value-wise to bring him in as a special teamer. Thank you so much for all the new people that joined me. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. I'm thinking about going live every Friday. I think that would be fun. How would you guys feel about me going live every single Friday? And you guys can ask me questions, all that good stuff. And if you have Bears friends, Bears family, if you know any Bears fans, let them know about the podcast and tell them to subscribe. I'm trying to make this a big Bears community right here. I'm from California. I think I'm one of maybe 3 Bears podcasters that live in California. So yeah, make sure you tell your friends, your Bears friends about the podcast and tell them to hit that subscribe button. I would really, really appreciate that. Yes, I agree. Ryan Pace is the best late round drafter I've ever seen. Besides, honestly, people were so nervous, but after Ryan Pace, this draft, there's a lot of Bears fans that may have some confidence in Ryan Pace now a little bit. He's still not off the hook for all the bad moves that he did, but I think Ryan Pace redeemed himself a little bit in this draft. And let me be honest with you. A lot of these picks have Matt Nagy's name written all over it. We have to understand that Matt Nagy came into Mitchell Trubisky. He didn't draft Mitchell Trubisky. So him with the Justin Fields pick, that was Matt Nagy. I seem to think that if Matt Nagy wasn't here, Ryan Pace would have probably traded up for Mac Jones. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah, whatever day you guys think is good, I can do Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Friday. It doesn't really matter. Whenever you guys would be down to come into the live and we can have a nice, fun conversation. So I think it would be a good time for me to come in on the live maybe once a week and just talk Chicago Bears with you. And if you guys have any questions for me, that would be fun. Yeah, Matt Nagy, since he finally got his guy, Matt Nagy may be under the most pressure now. It's like, Matt Nagy, you got your guy. You got who you wanted. But now you have to execute with Justin Fields. If Justin Fields comes in and let's say for some reason he's not good, then that's on Matt Nagy. That means Matt Nagy cannot develop a quarterback. But maybe it's just because Mr. Trubisky really couldn't run his offense. Maybe I truly believe that Justin Fields fits Matt Nagy's offense a lot better than Mitchell Trubisky did. Hey there, Andy. Thoughts on maybe trading for Jerry Jeudy or any other wide receiver? I think Jerry Jeudy may be kind of expensive. I would love Jerry Jeudy, but I think we'd have to give up a lot of draft capital to get him. And I truly think we may be set at wide receiver. I think we need to see what we got this season, going into the season with the wide receiver room that we have, and let these guys compete. I truly think we may be set at wide receiver. I don't know. That's just my opinion. So let's move on now. The Chicago Bears in the 6th round have picks back to back to back. So at 217, 221, and at 228. So the second pick in the round 6 was pick 221, and they selected Daz Newsome, wide receiver out of North Carolina. He's 5'11", 190 pounds. Once again, you're going to see this guy be more of a slot guy, maybe a good special teamer. Love this pick in the 6th round. Really great value in the 6th round. I don't know what they're going to do with Anthony Miller. If they decide to cut or trade Anthony Miller, I have a lot of confidence in Daz Newsome to be able to come in and play that slot role really, really well. I give this pick a B+. A B+. We knew that we needed a receiver. Instead of chasing a receiver early on, which we could have, Ryan Pace focused on offensive line, and then he still got a great value receiver in the 6th round. So I was really happy with Daz Newsome out of North Carolina, and I give this pick a B. What do you grade this pick of Daz Newsome out of North Carolina? Yeah, we do got Robinson and Mooney. We could use another big wideout. I'm going to give Wims one more chance. I'm going to give him one more year to see what he can do. Because I do think Wims still has a sort of a kind of like a high ceiling. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears were not done adding to their offensive line, like them going out and getting like a guy like Eric Fisher or Mitchell Schwartz to bring in as a day one starter to plug in and let these young guys kind of learn a little bit before we just kind of push them in there. But I like this Daz Newsome pick. I think he can be like I said, same with Khalil Herbert. I think both of them are more of like a special teams picks, but I think Daz Newsome will get some good quality time as a slot receiver as well, especially if we let go of Anthony Miller. Hey there, Joseph. Yeah, I was thinking that the Bears were going to try to get a linebacker in this draft, but I think they're content. I think our depth behind Danny Trevathan and Roquan Smith is kind of weak, so that's why I would have probably drafted a linebacker, maybe somewhere in the 6th round. But I think they're kind of being patient with the whole linebacker thing. Yeah, trade Miller. He screwed us in the playoffs. Yeah, the thing that made it so frustrating about Anthony Miller is that with the whole Gardner guy from New Orleans, we knew what happened with him and Javon Wims. We played him earlier in the season. Matt Nagy said all week, don't let that guy get to you. And Anthony Miller still let him get under his skin. So that just shows character a little bit. Has some character issues. Too much pride. I still like Anthony Miller. I still think he has a high ceiling. But I just don't think it is on the Bears. Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining the live. I really, really appreciate you guys all joining the live. I'm going through all the picks, giving you guys my analysis and grades on all the picks. Feel free to grade all the picks as well or grade the overall draft. How did you guys enjoy all of Ryan Pace's picks? Yeah, I really do like Anthony Miller, guys. I'm going to say that until I'm blue in the face. I like Anthony Miller, but I just think he has some character issues going on. Yeah, that's true, Tommy. They did pick up. They do have Iggy, and then they got Christian back. And I loved Christian before he went off to Detroit. Before we let him go the first time, I was confused why we let him go the first time, honestly. So moving along now to the last 6th round pick at 228, the Chicago Bears got their cornerback Thomas Graham Jr., 5'10", 193 pounds. Great. Let me tell you guys, great value in the 6th round. He was the 76th player on the PFF big board, and we got him at pick 228. I think his stock went down because he opted out because of COVID. He did play in the Senior Bowl. He impressed, but obviously not enough. We were able to get him in the 6th round. That was a huge pick for the Chicago Bears to bring in another corner, compete with all the other corners we have. Obviously, since we lost Kyle Fuller, we have to fix that area. So we needed to get another corner somewhere. And I like this pick. I give this a pick a B. I think this draft class is a really solid one for the Chicago Bears. What do you guys give this pick? How do you guys grade this pick of Thomas Graham Jr.? Yeah, Graham could possibly be a huge steal. Like I said, he was ranked 76 on the PFF big board, and we were able to get him in the freaking 6th round at pick 228. So great value here. I think he can come in. He has a little swagger to him. He wants to prove people wrong. Has a chip on his shoulder. I think he's going to come in and compete, with some of those guys. We have Jalen Johnson on one side, but to be quite honest with you, the slot corner and the other side is wide open. So with the offensive line and cornerbacks, I'm super excited to see how this competition thing plays out. So I see some B's, A's, B pluses, A minus. Yeah, I truly think that Thomas Graham can contribute in week 1, whether it's playing some defensive snaps or even special teams. Yeah, I'm really impressed with Ryan Pace in this draft. I truly am. I think he did a masterful job at drafting this draft class. It was truly masterful. I truly feel that he hit on all the needs. And it's incredible that he was able to hit on all the needs, especially when you only had a 1st and a 2nd. And then all your other picks were on day 3. So I thought it was truly masterful by Ryan Pace. Yeah, and most of these players coming out of college, most of them do have chips on their shoulder. But this guy right here, he knows that he should have been drafted higher. Like I keep saying, he was ranked 76, and we got him at pick 228. So obviously that leaves a sour taste in his mouth. Same with Tevin Jenkins. All these guys. With Tevin Jenkins, he was ranked 31st, and he got picked 39. He felt like he should have been a 1st-round pick. He dropped a little bit, and he's a lot of these players use that anger, and they use it to their advantage. So, yeah, Ted Phillips, I agree. Ted Phillips still sucks. He needs to go. I don't understand how Ted Phillips still has a job. Yeah, I feel like all Bears fans are happy right now. We're all excited about the future of this team. And I feel like the Bears, especially with Fields, he can probably come in and play day 1. I think we can win with him right away, too. That's the crazy thing. You can never have enough depth at cornerback, especially losing Kyle Fuller. They're going to have a bunch of guys competing for the other starting spot on the other side from Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson's a lock. Love Jalen Johnson, but now they need a starter on the other side. So now moving on, like I said, when we traded back with that first pick in the 6th round with the Seahawks, we ended up gaining a 7th round pick. And this pick right here, guys, got me excited. Even though it's a 7th round pick, I just talked about Charles Leno being a 7th round pick, and he played 7 years as a starting left tackle for the Chicago Bears. So just because these guys get drafted in the 6th and 7th round doesn't mean they can't contribute to the Chicago Bears organization. Before I move on to the 7th round pick, I just want to say yes, Larry Baroon. The thing I like about him, going back to him a little bit in the 5th round, the one game that stood out was against Alabama. He allowed 0 sacks against a very, very good Alabama team. So he's played some good competition. So I feel like he can come in and compete right away. What's going on? Yes, I do think the Bears should try to pick up some more offensive linemen. You can never have enough offensive linemen. I think they can pick up Mitchell Schwartz or Eric Fisher, bringing them in. I think Tevin Jenkins can start right away. But on the right tackle, we still have Ifedi. I think we can find a better option than Jermaine Ifedi over there on the right tackle. Even though Jermaine Ifedi did play pretty well last year, there's always better options. So here we go. Round 7, pick 250. We picked Khyiris Tonga, defensive tackle out of BYU. He's 6'3", 321 pounds. Once again, great value pick right here in the 7th round. I think he can come in and play some rotational time between Eddie Goldman. I had this guy in my mock drafts for probably like the first 3. I had him being picked in the 6th round. I knew that he was going to drop, but I didn't expect him to drop all the way to the 7th round. So I'm glad that we were able to get Khyiris Tonga in the 7th round. So I give this pick a B. Love the pick. Love Khyiris Tonga. I think he's going to come in and contribute right away as well. You know, you can never have enough defensive tackles on your team. And especially with this good Bears defense, it's a good situation for Khyiris Tonga as well. So grade the pick. I'll be right back. I need to go to the restroom, but comment in the comment section. Let me know what you grade Khyiris Tonga. All right, I am back. Yeah, I agree with you, David. Other teams will release players, and that's how you pick up solid veterans, you know. And just because we don't think, there's a lot of Bears fans that don't think that Charles Leno is a solid veteran, there's going to be a team out there that things like, oh, wow, Charles Leno was a 7th round pick. We should pick this guy up for cheap. Yeah, I agree. Tonga is definitely a solid B. I think he's going to fit right into this Bears defense. I wouldn't call him a game changer, but I think he could be developed into a very, very good defensive lineman in the NFL, especially when you have all those dogs on the defense, guys. That's what we have to think. Any guy that we draft or pick up on the defensive end should be able to do pretty well because look at the defense. Defense has a bunch of dogs on it. So now my question for you guys is what do you guys give this grade overall? I give this grade overall an A. I think this is an A draft class. Ryan Pace killed this draft, gave the Chicago Bears new life. I know Ryan Pace did a lot of wrongs over his career as a GM of the Chicago Bears, but Ryan Pace got this draft right, and I'm super pumped for the Chicago Bears and their future. Yeah, Andy, I agree. Left tackle could be Jenkins. Guard, Daniels coming back. Musfer at center. Right guard, Whitehair. And right tackle, see, Eric Fisher. I love Eric Fisher. He's still out there. So we'll see if the Chicago Bears actually make a run for another veteran lineman and try to bring him in and complete this offensive line, honestly. I'm super excited because once you have an offensive line, especially when you have some dogs and some nasty guys with edge on the offensive line, they're going to open up some holes. So I'm excited to see what David Montgomery does this year. And this is what you guys have to think about. The only team that scares me in NFC North is Green Bay, but that's because they have Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers retires or he gets traded, I feel like the Bears are the new top dog in the NFC North. Yeah, I hope Ryan Pace still runs the football. You can't just go out there and have Justin Fields throw all the time and run all the time. You need to get David Montgomery involved in the offense as well. Yeah, and see that makes a good point. Thank you for bringing that up because we should be excited about the undrafted free agents because look at Roy Robertson Harris. He was an undrafted free agent. Look at him now. Really, really solid player. So you can still get some good quality guys that go undrafted. And I think a lot of guys went undrafted this year because of a lot of them opting out. because of COVID. If I want to be quite honest with you guys, even though we don't have a first round pick next year, I think what the Bears are going to do in the second round, they're going to either take the best corner or they're going to take the best linebacker to replace Danny Trevathan. That's my prediction for next year. Yeah, Packers fans are not used to this. Packers fans, have been treated very well. They had Brett Favre and then Aaron Rodgers, so they've never known what it feels like not to have a quarterback. So I don't feel bad for them. I truly don't feel bad for Green Bay Packers fans. They're going to feel what us Bears fans had to go through for years. Yeah, a good safety would be good too, Andy. I agree with you. A safety or a linebacker in the second round next year of the draft. Yeah, I don't think Sean Desai will drop back Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack all the time like Chuck Pagano did. I think he's going to have those guys rush this year. I would really like to see Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack play a little bit of DN too. So not always playing outside linebacker. You put them at DN and then and let them rush the passer, especially on third long, second and longs. That'd be a good sight to see. Desmond Trufant is not a bad cornerback. He just can't stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, I think that's going to be a really good free agency signing for the Chicago Bears this year. Like I said, thank you guys so much for joining. Make sure you let your friends know about the podcast. Tell them to come subscribe to the channel. Trying to create a huge Bears community right here in California. I'm a Bears fan from California. I'm hoping to get to come to a Bears game. I can't wait to go to a Bears game when Justin Fields is our full-time quarterback. That's going to be so fun to watch. And that's the thing. If Justin Fields takes off, we're about to get all the free agents. And I'm kind of curious to see where this puts Allen Robinson. I wonder if he's excited that he finally potentially has a good quarterback for once. And I wonder if this changes anything contract-wise for the Chicago Bears and Allen Robinson. Because Justin Fields needs his number one receiver, and that number one receiver should be Allen Robinson. I'm not sure if I'm going to the 49ers versus Bears game. I may go to the Bears-Raiders game when they play in Vegas. Because since I'm from California, I'm either going to go to the Vegas game or I'm going to go to the Los Angeles Rams game when they come and travel down to L.A. Let me tell you, if Sean Desai brings back this defense from 2018, and let's say, Justin Fields just comes in and starts tearing it up, this Bears team can actually be a Super Bowl contender. I know that's steep to talk about right now, but I truly feel like this Bears team can be a Super Bowl freaking contender if the defense comes back to normal. And the offense can just put up some type of production, which I feel confident with Justin Fields. My good buddy Tanner commenting. It's funny because he's in the garage working out in the home gym. Tell Ryan Pace to take it slow with Fields. He can't mess this thing up. I agree with you, Tanner. You can't mess this up, but desperate times call for desperate measures. If Andy Dalton comes out and sucks it up, I think it's going to be too much of an excitement factor to sit Justin Fields this whole time. Just imagine how good Allen Robinson can be. Darnell Mooney can be. Think about Darnell Mooney juking up Jalen Ramsey against the Rams last year. And freaking Nick Foles freaking overthrew him. Justin Fields is not going to overthrow him. That's going to be a touchdown. That's going to be a touchdown, guys. I'm really confident about Justin Fields. I agree with you, Andy. I think this Bears defense, I think they're going to be back. I think Eddie Jackson is about to have a resurgence. He had 2 down years, but I think he's about to come back to life. Yeah, if this defense gets back to normal, and let's say Justin Fields comes in, or even Andy Dalton comes in and plays well, and just plays decent at quarterback, the Bears are going to be back in the playoffs, and they're going to make some noise. That's my personal opinion. I'm not trying to be biased here, but I truly think it can happen. How are you guys feeling about this upcoming season? Are you guys more excited? Because I know before the draft, we were kind of like, man, we had to deal with Andy Dalton. But now that you have Justin Fields, your future at quarterback, are you excited for the season? Do you want to see Justin Fields play right away? Or do you want him to sit and groom maybe for half the season? Or maybe even a full season? How do you guys feel about that? I think since Matt Nagy finally has his quarterback, let's give him one more chance to see how he does. I don't think Matt Nagy's the greatest play caller, but we may have to consider that Mitch Trubisky may have not known how to actually run Matt Nagy's offense, which is a true possibility. If that's a scenario, Andy, to actually happen, if Devontae Adams leaves Green Bay and he wants to come to Chicago and play with Justin Fields, it's over. Allen Robinson, Devontae Adams, Darnell Mooney, shoo, guys, it would be over. It would be an absolute wrap. I think Justin Fields will get a taste. He'll obviously play in preseason. I'm just not sure. Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy say that they're going to groom him. But if he comes into training camp and just starts tearing it up, it's going to be hard to sit that guy on the bench. Justin Fields has a lot of big games under his belt. So he definitely has the experience to play right away if we need him to. Yeah, I agree with you, Josh. I think we should bring him on along slowly so we don't, mess him up. But I think Justin Fields is that type of guy that even if he comes in, he won't be nervous. He'll be ready to go. But I could see Andy Dalton starting and maybe struggling, maybe going 2-4 in the first 6 games, and then Justin Fields coming in and taking over. Yeah. I agree with you, Jacob. I truly think Justin Fields is the only quarterback that is truly NFL ready besides Trevor Lawrence. You have to understand that a lot of people compared it as Trevor Lawrence being number one, and then Justin Fields being 1A. And there was an article that was written saying that some GMs around the NFL, and I think it was like out of 16, half of them said that they would have picked Justin Fields over Trevor Lawrence. So for us to be able to get him at 11, he should have been a freaking second quarterback taken off the board. We got this guy at number 11. So it's huge steal. One of the biggest steals ever to me. That doesn't even make any sense. That somebody on Twitter said that Fields will be a bust because it's too cold. He's a cold weather quarterback. Doesn't make any sense. They're just hating. They don't want Bears fans to be happy. They're just hating on our new franchise quarterback behind me, Justin freaking Fields. They should be jealous. The funniest thing about this whole thing is that I guess the Vikings wanted Justin Fields at 14. So, sucks for them. They did get Kellen Mond, which I did really, really like Kellen Mond, and he dropped to the 3rd, which is great value for them. But sorry, he's not Justin Fields. I've heard a lot of comparisons about Drew Brees, and I also heard a lot of comparisons about Mr. Russell Wilson in Justin Fields' game. So, if he's like any of those guys, I'll be happy. People should be scared of the Bears. First time we have a franchise quarterback. No one has ever seen the Chicago Bears with a franchise quarterback. So it truly is a crazy sight to think. Like, man, if the Bears actually get a really good quarterback and they still have that good defense, man, this Bears team can actually be Super Bowl contenders. Yes, I love the pick. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this live stream. I enjoy doing this. Like I said, make sure you tell all your Bears fans or Bears friends to subscribe to the channel. Trying to create a big Bears community here. I would truly appreciate it. And I'm also thinking about going live once a week. I'm not sure how you guys feel about that, but I'm trying to go live once a week, and you guys can ask me questions. And you guys can ask me questions right now about Bears, about myself. If you guys want to get to know me better, ask questions. I'll probably try to stay on this live for another maybe like 20, 30 minutes. Yeah, I watch this Packers podcast a lot because I really like the guy. And I was watching his live draft reactions and stuff. And when we trade up, he's like, man, the Bears really trade up for a quarterback, but they have no offensive line. Which before Tevin Jenkins, I didn't think the offensive line was that bad anyways. They actually improved at the end of the season. But when we traded up in the second round, he's like, man, the Bears are about to get freaking Tevin Jenkins. And when we got Tevin Jenkins, the look on his face, he's like, damn. The Chicago Bears are coming. And there's like this decline in confidence with Packers fans that they know that if they lose Aaron Rodgers, they know they're screwed because you just lost your franchise quarterback and the Chicago Bears just gained their franchise quarterback. So it's like a domination shift. So it may be a thing where Justin Fields beats the shit out of the Packers twice a year, every single year. So yeah, Andy, that would be if the Bears had enough money to pay Devontae Adams if he wants out. That would be absolutely insane. Just freaking get all the Packers players to come in and pay back the Packers. You know, and I've been hearing a lot of rumors that the Packers like front office is just like not good, and that's one of the concerns with Aaron Rodgers, that he doesn't like anyone in the front office. So the Packers are in turmoil, and I'm just sitting back and just sipping on some wine or sipping on a nice cold beer and just saying that is what you guys get. Payback is a motherfucker. Tom Grossi is a Packers podcaster, but he has some videos on there talking about the Bears. He's like really like honest, like so he'll tell you straight up if the Bears are the best team in the division, you know. So that's why I really liked his videos. And I was watching his live reactions, and he was like, yeah, that's great that the Bears got Justin Fields, but they have no offensive line. But then in the second round when we got Tevin Jenkins, he's like, damn. Like you could just see that he was defeated because the Bears were improving as the Packers just seemed like they're in turmoil. Yeah, Bulls 190. I'm envisioning it right now. I've been imagining it since they drafted Fields on freaking Thursday. Ryan Pace better extend Allen Robinson. Can you imagine? Oh. Can you imagine for years to come, Justin Fields and Allen Robinson? Allen Robinson has had great seasons with Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles, people. The dude is a freaking monster. Allen Robinson finally has a quarterback, people. Yeah, Andy, Eric Stokes. That's who they drafted out of Georgia. And, you know, it's not a bad pick, but it's like that's not what they needed. They draft a freaking cornerback every year. I'm not sure why they wanted to get Eric Stokes that high. He was projected, like you said, to be early second, but they reached on him. But that's their problem. If that's who they wanted, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. They were kind of talking about Eric Stokes. The reason why he was dropping because his ball skills, you know, so we got our guy, guys. We got a freaking franchise quarterback. Guys. Man, if you guys haven't checked out the live reaction with my dad and I when we drafted Justin Fields, go check out that video. It's absolutely hilarious. My dad just fucking let all his emotion out. Yeah, Josh, I appreciate you. Thank you. I try to put out the best content for you guys, and I agree. The moment he slid down to 11, you could just see Justin Fields when he put on the hat. He was, like, pissed. Like, he's ready to prove people wrong. Like, man, he was the second best quarterback. Arguably, he could have been the best quarterback in this draft, you know, depending on who you talk to. So the fact that he freaking slid to number 11 is a mistake. It's just as bad as as the Bears passing on, Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. That would be nice. That would be a great prediction if Justin Fields comes in and freaking slings a 60-yard touchdown to Allen Robinson. We're like, the moment is now. I think all Bears fans would be like, all right, we're Super Bowl champs. That's it. If we can get Alshon Jeffrey for cheap and just add him to the receiver room, I would actually like that because he wouldn't have to be the number one. He would just be, he would just be there. Andy, I love that comment. If we can be the next KC, how about we just be the Chicago Bears, though? How about we just be better than the Kansas City Chiefs? Justin Fields has the capability to come in and do exactly what Patrick Mahomes did, if not better. I was telling my dad, after we drafted Fields, I'm like, can you imagine if Justin Fields comes and does the same thing that Patrick Mahomes did? Can you imagine what we're going to have to pay him? Like, it could be more than $500 million, guys. Yes, I love the receiver room. We have Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, Daz Newsome. You keep Anthony Miller. You have Wims. You have Riley Ridley. The receiver room looks pretty nice, guys. Exactly, and that's what we have to consider. When we drafted Mitchell Trubisky, in the next round, we drafted Anthony Miller. We didn't get offensive linemen to protect him. We didn't really build around Trubisky. And I think, honestly, what we need to realize is that Ryan Pace, I think he learned from his mistake back in 2017. He got his franchise quarterback, and he built the offensive line. And that's what you're supposed to do when you get a franchise quarterback. And I know people wanted a receiver early, but I think it was the right move to do what he did. Yeah. Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry to say this, but I don't think Kirk Cousins is good at all. I think Justin Fields is better than Kirk Cousins right now. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. Yeah, Andy, I agree with you. Our offensive line was pretty good in 2018, just along with our defense. Our defense was great in 2018. If we would have had Justin Fields back in 2018, I think we win a couple playoff games. That's just my personal opinion. Trubisky struggled under pressure. He just never developed. He just really, really never developed. I think the pressure was just too much. 1 second, guys. Make sure you guys stay on the live. I'll be right back. My dog is barking up a storm. I want to make sure no one's trying to break into the house or something. Sorry about that, guys. My dog was going nuts. I was like, man, is someone trying to break in? I have a red-nosed pit, and she's a girl, and she's like ferocious towards the door. So it's like, okay, calm down. Gotta make sure I'm okay in here. I'm not sure if you guys remember, of course we passed on Patrick Mahomes. When we played Patrick Mahomes for the first time and they were just beating our ass. Remember when he counted down, he was like 1, 2, 3, 4, like the picks that, how long it took him to get drafted. I hope Justin Fields is the same thing when we play the Niners this year. Let's say Justin Fields does play right away and we start beating the Niners' ass or something. Justin Fields should do the same thing, like put out fingers, Justin Fields is a great leader, great teammate, great overall player. Ryan Pace got this pick right, guys. I'm pumped. Yeah, if Aaron Rodgers leaves the Packers, I truly feel like the Packers will just crumble without Aaron Rodgers. And that means the Bears and the Vikings will battle it out. And I feel like we dominate the Vikings, honestly. Even with Kirk Cousins in there, we've always dominated the Vikings over the last couple of years. That's a good observation, Josh. It could be. Maybe Ryan Pace wanted a different quarterback, and Matt Nagy's like, no, I'm picking the guy. I think if I had to put my money on it, they definitely will probably get extended because of Justin Fields. But if I had to guess, Ryan Pace will get fired before Matt Nagy. That's just, I guess that's just my prediction, that he will get fired before Matt Nagy. Yeah, we have annihilated the Vikings. Like, the Vikings have nothing, really no answer for the Chicago Bears at times. It's like, for some reason, we just play good against the Vikings and the Lions. Of course, everyone plays good against the Lions. But the Packers just have our number. But for years, I've been saying, is it the Packers or does Aaron Rodgers have our number? That's how I look at it. Like I said, guys, thank you so much for joining the live. I really, really appreciate you guys, all your guys' support, and all the people that came out, enjoyed the live for draft night. I thank you guys so much. Even though we had a little bit of technical difficulties, I think we had a good time. We all celebrated us drafting Justin Fields, so it was fun to share that moment, not only with my dad, but some true Bears fans like you guys. Yeah, Devontae Adams is a great football player, guys. Devontae Adams' routes are absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to wrap this up in about a couple minutes. So if you guys have any last minute questions for me before I end this live stream, let me know in the comments so I can answer your question before I end the live stream. Do I think the Bears should start Justin Fields? If Justin Fields comes in and outplays Andy Dalton in preseason and the offseason, like in the mini camps and training camp, I think Justin Fields should be the day one starter. I hope that maybe they groom him slowly, but if Justin Fields comes in and he starts tearing it up, I think there's no reason for the Bears to wait on Justin Fields. This is a little bit different scenario compared to Mitchell Trubisky. I think Mitchell Trubisky truly needed a year, but we had Mike Glennon. Andy Dalton is better than Mike Glennon, so I think Andy Dalton can hold his own. But if he comes in and beats out Andy Dalton in training camp, I think he should be the day one starter. Yeah, Tevin Jenkins has played a little bit of left tackle So he can play right. He's used to playing right tackle at Oklahoma State, but he can definitely play left tackle. I don't think it matters. Go check out, after this live, guys, go check out Tevin Jenkins' highlights, dude. Like, there was this highlight where he literally blocked this dude out of bounds. Like, he finished the play. It was a great sight. It was absolutely nasty. I loved it. If you guys have any more questions, let me know. I know I probably sound like a broken record, but if you have any Bears friends, fellow Bears fans that you celebrate with or cheer with on game day and watch the draft and off season with, and you talk all Bears with them, let them know about the podcast. Tell them to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so they don't miss any Bears content on this podcast. You know, that's actually not a bad idea. We can get Richard Sherman for cheap. I wouldn't be against the idea. I definitely wouldn't be against the idea. Bring him in, start him on the other side. I'm excited for this season, guys. I hope you guys are too. I really hope you guys are ready. But I am thinking I'm going to wrap this live stream up. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We have a question. I think Larry Baroon will compete to try to start at right tackle. I think right tackle is wide open. I can't give you a solid answer if I think he's going to start. I think he has the potential to start, but I'm not sure if it's going to be right away. All right, guys, bear down. Thank you guys so much for joining my live. I truly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Keep supporting the podcast. Keep supporting the Bears. The Bears have new life because of this guy behind me. We got freaking Justin Fields. We got our freaking quarterback of the future. All Bears fans should be pumped. So bear down and let's get ready for the season, guys. Everyone should be happy, but stay tuned for some new videos coming soon on the podcast. I'll let you guys know of any other times I'm planning to go live. You guys will be the first ones to know. And let's get this rolling. I'm not sure when the next time I'm going to stream. I will definitely let you guys know in the community page before I do, though. Yep. As long as the Bears are competitive, it should be nice. All right, guys, I'm going to tune out. Thank you guys so much for joining my live. I truly appreciate you guys, but I'll catch you guys next time right here on KIEQ on the Mic. Okay, guys, bear down.